in closing, before we ask Pastor Phillips to pray, we're going to open a little bit if there's any questions or discussion. But before I open that, as I'm standing here, every time I watch those videos, they kind of hit close to home because I'm from Africa. And not only I'm from Africa, not only I'm associated with some of those people, but I lived that life where there was a time in my growing up we didn't have food. So I know what it is not to have food. I know what it is, what she's talking about. The first thing you're thinking about, what am I gonna eat today? I know what it is. Now I can work up, I don't think about, am I gonna have food today? No, I don't. The first thing I think about is, these kids I work with, what am I gonna deal with them? I need to go to this meeting. Okay, I need to come home early because we need to do this at home. I think about those things. I don't think about not having food. But I remember what it is when you wake up in the morning. You don't know. First of all, we already scrapped a long time ago having breakfast. We never used to have breakfast because there was no breakfast. And sometimes you have your lunch, which is the so-called lunch. The food was coming around 6 o'clock. If you eat around 5 to 6 o'clock, then you cover for the evening as well. It's not a fun life to have. It always trigger and leads to all kind of other behavior. We had people, because there was no food, they start stealing, robbing others, and you can see the life of crime is big in some part of Africa because of lack of food. So let us play a part in helping. At least, let's do something. The need is great, but we can say, oh, I can help everybody. Then let me stop here. Let all of us play. Just the little part you can play is gonna help somebody who also gonna catch the light and say, you know what? I was helped for somebody else. Let me also pay it forward. So that's kind of what I wanted just to share with you guys, and definitely I'm so grateful to have Natalie working on this project. And I truly believe we will raise 5,000 and then some for this program. It may be 3 weeks left. I believe we will do it by the grace of God. So if there's any questions, please fire up. Natalie can answer them.
Thanks. I guess I have a question.
Yes.
On February 7th, you're going to have an event at CCHS where students will be packing like we saw in the video.
Yes, they can be from churches, they might be just people from the community, but we're going to reach out in the schools and try to get people in my church, and that's also something that, and if any of you are connected with a group that you think might be interested in helping, that will need help then too. I think around 60 people we had said.
Roughly for 20,000 meals, about 60 people can package that, but it'll take a few hours and so on and so forth. The more people, the way they have it set up, it's not like people will be stepping on each other's toes. As you can see, they really have a nice setup, tables and everything else. It's like a factory thing, like it's a chain, it's going. So if you have more people, they will do something. So the more people, the better.
So have you contacted like the Methodist Church, for example, because there's a really strong youth group there?
No, I have not, but I'll have to do that.
All right, so I can.
What time frame are we looking at?
Probably in the morning, like I said, it'd probably take a few hours, maybe start at, do you know if
We're
there's
looking
a
at
time
starting
lined
at
up?
10 o'clock.
Okay.
That's kind of the tentative plan for now, starting at 10 o'clock. And they say if we have the right number for that amount, we can be done in 2 hours. Yeah.
Natalie,
Yes.
will there be other events going on around the country, or is this coordinated what's going to happen here in Culpeper with other events?
As far as Stop Hunger Now goes,
Yes.
I believe they, at many different colleges, any group can call this organization and line up a date to raise the money and packages of food. I don't think it's limited to here. I think anyone who's interested can set up an event and raise the money.
But what's going on here on February the 7th isn't necessarily the same date as other locations
No,
might be.
no sir.
And do you know where the food would be targeted to go this time? The video said there were 3 countries, I guess it was 2 in South America and India, but what is being targeted now?
That we don't really know.
We don't know because it always changes, and it's depending to where the crisis is, where the demand is. You know, they feel like the demand is greater, and then they will provide the food to those particular in those particular areas. But when I spoke to the guy who's kind of working with us, his name is Troy. It's always they don't, even themselves don't really dictate. It's when they receive phone calls and demand and say, hey, let's go and help this country. Oh, or let's go to Texas and help, you know, this family, and so on and so. Some of the food, they stay here in the U.S. Not everything goes internationally. So some stuff stays here. So we really, for us, we don't know and we don't dictate where the food's gonna go. But from what they've done in the past, we, you know, just by talking with them and also watching what they've done, we have kind of a good sense that they are making good choices and better judgment in how they're distributing this food.
Has should I say, a certain amount already been raised at this point, or we started really from 0 to 5,000?
It's at a few hundred right now, I believe.
Natalie, will you kind of explain what's happening in the schools pertaining to this so that they get a feel for that?
Well, the initial goal was for each child or each student to give 10 cents a day for a month, and that would give us $5,000. We haven't been able to really set up a whole lot with the middle schools. I put out containers in the high school, CCHS, to collect with letters, and I've talked to the principals at both high schools. So hopefully that will give us some funds, but that's what we've got so far, just collecting change pretty much.
Have you been on the PA system at the high school? Has the video been shown?
No, not yet.
Because that would, I think, just really excite the
Yeah,
students.
Mr. Mello is going to do that with his school, and they have a better system at Eastern View, and I believe he's talking about they're going to show in all the rooms at this particular time, whatever the case might be. So we ordered more videos, so they're going to come out, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday, and when I give one to him, he's going to share that with EVHS, and also Mr. Dietz is very, very excited since we're going to do that his school and everything else. So he's really, really excited about that, and is willing to do whatever we can. In fact, even when we met with him, he even said that I'm going to make my classroom do a competition who's going to raise more money, and he's going to provide the reward to whatever the class that will raise more money. So we are having some, you know, support from the school principals to want to be involved. I spoke to Bill Zweden at CMS. He's excited, and they said that give him whatever we have. He's going to share with the teachers and the school. So we putting some stuff in motions, and Ms. Jen Smith here, also one of our Rize-Up board members, she also they're gonna do an event at their church to be able to raise funds that way as well. So we can be creative here, and if you have you know, your church or your groups, whatever event we can, you know, you want to do, we'll work with you and say, hey, let's see how we can raise money with whatever the events that you may come up with.
Is this going to become an annual event, or is it just a one-time shot?
Well, we'll see how it goes, I guess, but I'm planning to continue it if it goes well.
And to answer, I think, one of the questions here, so, in North Carolina, UMC, they still, in fact, I received an email from Stop Hunger. They are, the goal we're talking about a million meals. They were doing it, I think, this past summer or something like that. So they had a big event just happening not too long ago. So you can find out on their website, you can find about all the events they're having and so on and so forth. You can